The Explore the Tropics event is in full swing now at Whole Foods Market. It's a celebration of tropical fruits throughout the store, starting with great deals on fresh, juicy seasonal produce. There's a new melty tropical heat pizza only at Whole Foods Market through March. And that famous mango yuzu chantilly cake is finally back in the bakery department. You'll also find tempting tropical marinated proteins in their meat and seafood departments. Explore the tropics today at Whole Foods Market.
Today on CityCast Philly, down at the Italian market is Anthony's Italian Coffee and Chocolate House. But it wasn't always a place to get hot coffee and sweet treats. Back in November, I had a chance to sit down with the owner and talk about how his family has kept this business going for 4 generations. It's Thursday, March 16th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Anthony Anastasio, you're the owner of Anthony's Italian Coffee and Chocolate House. Your family has been running businesses for decades. Why did you decide to follow, so to speak, in your great-grandfather's footsteps?
So I was born and raised here on the market, and my great-grandfather came from Sicily in 1906, and he was a fisherman. So when he came to America, he settled here in Philadelphia, and he started with a push cart where you would actually push food throughout the neighborhoods, and they would park here on 9th Street. So they would...
Like right out here?
Right out here. So we have a deck in the space now, but originally these were all push cart stands. And further down the block, you'll see some of those stands. So they would walk throughout the neighborhood, announcing what they're selling. People would come out, and they would buy right from the push carts. And then eventually he just parked it here. He settled here on the market, and they stopped walking throughout the entire neighborhoods and just were start vending and selling here on 9th Street. And then they were just selling primarily just to the neighborhood people. So people who were just walking, living in the neighborhood and walking to 9th Street. And they settled here. They met people here. They married people here.
Right.
Okay, and they grew their family here. And so then my grandfather was born in 1920 here. So he was the first generation born here. He's one of like 7. And some of his brothers were born in Italy.
You got a big family.
I've got a big family.
Right.
So he was forced at when the Depression hit to stop going to school in 6th grade. And he had his own push cart for fruit and produce. And everybody was working here on the market trying to survive. He then, went out on his own, and he opened up a larger fruit and produce store. And then he married my grandmother, and her family were poultry merchants on the market. So literally everyone is truly from right here. So the room that we're sitting in right now was my great-grandmother's family's fish market.
Wow, okay.
So the room next door, which is where the coffee shop is, right? That was my grandfather's fruit and produce market. And then next door to that was my grandfather's original fish store. So right here. So from 1906, we've been on this corner. And a lot of the photos that you'll see are of our family and working, here on the market, growing up on the market. My grandfather and my grandmother, they had 4 children. So my dad decided to live here on the market as well. He worked alongside his dad. He grew the business with his brothers, and they moved to a wholesale place around the corner. And then during the 1980s, the market was really in a steep decline. And they decided to close the retail store and just focus on the wholesale. Well, at that point, I was just getting out of college. By the time they closed, it took them a while to close. It took them quite a few years.
I can imagine. At that point, it was, 3 generations?
That's correct. So this space became available. And prior to them closing, I was in their ear that we need to change with the times. And I truly believe that 9th Street needed, and our community needed, a coffee shop. Because the coffee shop is so much more than just, having a cup of coffee. It's a gathering place. They looked at me like I was crazy. And this is before the Starbucks was here in Philly. This is in the early 90s. And after they wound up closing the store, I convinced them with a little bit of money that I had, it was to open up this coffee shop.
Now, tell me, you took a trip to Italy, right?
Right. So that was in.
How did that change you?
That's really where I got the idea, which is back in 1989. I was over in Italy and fell in love with the whole coffee culture scene over there. And when I came back, that's all I talked about.
Got it. So let's go back. So as you see your family, your grandfather, your dad, your uncles, your cousins, what was your favorite memory of this corner?
Oh, this corner definitely has to do with when we had the presidents. Believe it or not, who
Wow.
used to be, so 9th Street is a beacon for all our our politicians to come down here to have celebrities and even local celebrities. But I can remember distinctly President Ford driving down 9th Street. I think I was in kindergarten at that point, and literally remember SWAT being on our rooftops and just the whole pomp and circumstance that occurred here, and how like 9th Street is such an integral part of Philadelphia. Ben, I was just in awe of that.
The Explore the Tropics event is in full swing now at Whole Foods Market. It's a celebration of tropical fruits throughout the store, starting with great deals on fresh, juicy seasonal produce. There's a new melty tropical heat pizza only at Whole Foods Market through March. And that famous mango yuzu chantilly cake is finally back in the bakery department. You'll also find tempting tropical marinated proteins in their meat and seafood departments. Explore the tropics today at Whole Foods Market.
So, Anthony, take me back to 2003. Why did you decide to incorporate chocolate into the store?
Well, that's really easy. So I always look to our market and see what's missing. And to me, a specialty shop for chocolates was missing. What I didn't realize is that chocolate business is extremely seasonal. So therefore,
So we're in the perfect time right now, though, right?
it was the perfect time now. But aside from the summer's really tough when it came to chocolate. So we opened up the store in 2003. I thought that the market really missed authentic chocolates, good chocolates, truffles, chocolate covered pretzels. They were two, items that we were really interested in showcasing when we opened up the chocolate shop. We're going to call it a chocolate house, but it's going to be more seasonal, and we're going to do some mail order out of there. Well, that grew quickly.
Now, I heard that y'all are also known for your gelato.
And that's where the gelato came in. So the summertime is really tough to sell the chocolates, but the gelato, on the other hand, it's another
sense.
seasonal product.
Right.
So it's like, okay, we'll pair it up with gelato. And that's how the whole concept of the chocolate house started. So we had started down the street. Then we wind up moving next door directly to the coffee shop. And then during COVID, it was deemed unessential by the city, and we had to close. And then the coffee shop, which was deemed essential, we just couldn't let anyone inside. So we have a retail store that we can now pack with product, but nobody could see. So this became a real challenge for us.
So you had to evolve during the pandemic. What other challenges have you faced or come across running a family business that's stretching for generations?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is to make sure that we continue to make our ancestors proud. My grandparents, my great-grandparents, their commitment to service and to the quality products is front and center in practically everything that we do. They just wanted to do their best and to provide their best product. I mean, our mission is not only to provide high-quality products with exceptional service, but it's to enhance and to continue the traditions here in our market and in our community.
And you've done some philanthropic work that's been close to your heart. Why is that important to stay close and committed to the community?
Because, we stay close and committed to the community because without the community, we don't exist. And it's taken, I'm a different Anthony today than I was 25 years ago, 28 years ago. So the experiences and the opportunities that I have had, I've come to understand the importance of having an active family, the importance of having community support And you go around and you meet people who simply don't have what I had. Now, I didn't know that I had something so special growing up. And I realized, you know what? We could do something to help someone else have a better life, have a better opportunity. Why don't we do that?
Is that a lot of pressure, though?
It's self-imposed pressure, but it's a good pressure. Dealing with supply chain issues, dealing with inflation, there are pressures I don't like. But if I could find a way that we could help a child read, we're going to take that opportunity. And if it's only money, we're talking money. I mean, it's so insignificant, and we do our best to try to make a difference. There's so many worthy causes out there. But for us, we really look first and foremost to reading literacy, because I think that is is so essential to everyone's existence to do better for themselves. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And if we could do that with coffee and with chocolate, oh my gosh, how awesome is that? So if we could do it, anyone could do it. That's how I see it.
Anthony, thank you so much for being on CityCast Philly.
No, thank you.
Anthony's Italian Coffee and Chocolate House is located at 903 South 9th Street in the historic Italian Market. Do you know of a long-running, family-owned business in Philly that we should highlight? Send us an email at philly@citycast.fm, or you can leave us a voicemail at 215-259-8170. And here's what else Philly's talking about. Crozier Health is laying off more than 200 employees. That's roughly 4% of its staff. WHYY reports that the Delaware County Hospital System made the announcement this week as part of a, quote, operational restructuring plan. And a plastic bag ban went into effect this week in Radnor Township. 6ABC reports shoppers will need to bring their own bag when shopping along the main line, or pay 10 cents for a recyclable paper bag. Philly, New Jersey, and Delaware have already banned plastic bags. It's time for the tip of the day, where we share a life hack for living in Philly. If you've been interested in doing yoga, but you weren't sure where to begin, well, Hood Healers and Sear Health Center have teamed up to offer free yoga classes for all ages and all levels every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. The group meets in West Philly at 227 South 59th Street. They say no RSVP is needed, just pull up. Enter at the red door. If you have a tip of the day, we'd love to hear from you too. Call or text us at 215-259-8170. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about a long-running family-owned business, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter too. It's called Hey Philly. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Friday News Roundup. Bye. What's that machine? That's the espresso?
No, that's somebody washing their hands.
Oh.